All right, hello everybody. Another Monday morning live, or not Monday, Tuesday. Tuesday morning live stream. Let me tweet this out so that the world knows that I'm live. That's important. That is important indeed. How's everybody doing on this beautiful, beautiful morning? The stock market open. We're gonna get started today. Stocks are green. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but stocks are green. Stocks are green. Good morning, Cameron. Good morning, Namir. Good morning, Legend of C. Good morning, Todd. Hope everyone's doing well. Stocks are green today. We're looking at some pretty decent stocks that are going on right now. As we can see, Dow futures up 0.48%, S&P up 0.43 or up 0.33%. Oil is at 112. So S&P and Dow futures are still doing well even with oil up. US 10-year, that's a big one at 2.37%. We haven't seen that, I believe, since 2018. US 10-year is up 2.37%. Now, why is the US 10-year important? Let's talk about it right here. What is the US 10-year? Let's do a better one. What is there we go, US 10-year rate. The 10-year Treasury note is a debt obligation issued by the United States government with a maturity of 10 years upon initial issuance. A 10-year Treasury note pays interest at a fixed rate once every 6 months and pays the face value to the holder at maturity. So if you can get 2.368% guaranteed on your money because it's a debt obligation, whereas for the past couple of years, you couldn't put any money in the 10-year bond because it was literally at 0%, right? Because we had zero interest rates. And so where would you put your money? You put your money in stocks, because like if I'm not going to get anything from the 10-year, I'm going to get everything from some other asset. I'm going to put in stocks. But now if stocks are kind of risky, that's when the 10-year goes up, because people are like, oh, I could just put my money in the 10-year and get at least a guaranteed 2%. Now, obviously, I think people want more than 2%, so stocks are still the better choice. But nonetheless, that's kind of the overall argument that would be made. 6:15 a.m. here, tired as hell. Glitch, why are you tired as hell? Why are you tired as hell? Giga Berlin open, so it's a beautiful day. Yeah, Giga Berlin. What do you think about Enphase stock? First of all, I am really excited about Enphase stock. I had a friend that I went to dinner with on a couple days ago on Friday, and he couldn't stop talking about Enphase. Let's look it up on Webull right now. I'm actually very into Enphase. I haven't bought it yet. Probably also because it's pretty expensive right now. He told me to dollar cost average into it because it is a little bit high. So Enphase is at 185. It's up really well over the past month. It was at 120. So like it did pretty well this past month. And if we look at it in 3 months, its highs were at around, well, same way it got back to its highs that it was at 3 months ago. Lows, it got to, yeah, it got to 112. That were the lows. Let's go to the 6 months. So it was at 280. It crashed with the rest of the market. Yeah, it couldn't break 112. 112 was the low point. And then if we go max, look at this. Enphase was at $1 in 2016. $7 in 2016. This is when you want to get into them. This is when you want to know. And then there's their rise. The thesis on Enphase is that they make inverters for solar panels, and they're one of 2 companies in the world that make those inverters. And as a result of that, they're kind of have a monopoly in that space, and that monopoly is going to lead to likely exponential growth. They just built capacity to make like 5 million inverters or some ridiculous number. So they are very interesting to me. I will definitely say that. What time is the market open where you are? 9:30 a.m. Victor, that's where the market is. 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Watching you at work. LOL. 5:15 p.m. here. Namir, where are you from? Where it's 5:15 p.m. Bitcoin's up 43 grand. Ethereum hit 3 grand. So Bitcoin and Ethereum were up to 3 and 43. Chinese stocks, Baba's up to, oh wow, Baba's up 10% pre-market. So this 103 is actually 113. Interesting. NEO is up about 3% pre-market. The pre-market is there. Palantir's up a little bit pre-market, like 0.01%. Boeing, as of yesterday, remember we saw that plane crash. They are down 0.22, so like 0.12%. Nothing too crazy. SoFi is probably finally out of the 8s, which is important because SoFi was stuck in those 8s. But yeah, that's interesting. I don't know why there's this Chinese stocks going up again today. Either like it's time for that. Could we be entering the final leg of like that little bearish market that we saw, and now we're headed to green days every day? I mean, if we get there, it's not gonna be bad. It's not gonna be bad at all. It would be very, very, very nice. Now, what is not nice is this update right here. Zelensky calls for more pressure on Moscow as Ukraine says 15,000 Russian troops have been killed. Obviously, war is never good. It does look like Russia is struggling. Like, it really does look like Russia is struggling. And as a result of that, they have had negotiations, Russia and Ukraine, with some third-party conversations of like what they can do to stop this. But things aren't finally confirmed yet. If you saw the video that Vladimir Zelensky put out the other day, it was this video about what it means to be great and what they are doing in Ukraine. It's like a 1-minute video. I actually want to see if I can pull it up because it's a really good video. That video right there was actually pretty strong at explaining kind of what's going on. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so let's play this video real quick. This is what's going on in Kyiv right now.
For us, because now the everyday was a simple verb, merely a part of speech used in everyday life. But it's not that simple for us, because now the everyday Ukrainians simply cannot say words without bursting into tears. This was my home. This was my friend. This was my dog. This was my car. This was my job. And this was my father. And this was my daughter. The millions and millions of fresh wounds are bleeding with that wounds. Russia has drowned Ukraine in tears and blood and children corpses. But there is one thing Russia doesn't get. Was is the word that describes its life. And we Ukrainians already know what will come next. We will win. And there will be new houses. There will be new cities. There will be new dreams. There will be a new story. There will be, there's no doubt. And those we've lost will be remembered. And we will sing again. And we will celebrate anew. Yes, Ukraine was beautiful. But now it will become great, great Ukraine.
It's pretty interesting stuff right there. So like obviously what that means from a market perspective as well is that like they are trying like they're getting closer to, I believe, the end of this war. Especially if they're able to make like this type of promotional material and able to put up stuff like, hey, like things, we're gonna fight through this, we're gonna get out of this. If they were literally in the middle of just like complete fighting, I don't even think they would have time to do this. So like they're getting to a point where I think they can reach some negotiations and stop this stuff. It's just the crazy thing is like the fact that if the negotiation results in like nothingness, right, it goes back to normal. Like Russia did all of this for no reason, and that's kind of the hard part of what's going on in this. Or the sad reality of what's going on. But from a market perspective, supply chain should get better. Oil prices should go down. Products that like potential sanctions on Russia might be lifted. Some countries, some companies might go back to Russia to do business. That would be the economic effect. But ultimately, we're gonna have to see how that plays out. Babylon looking pretty cheap right now, trading at 3.7 PS compared to Teladoc 5.1 PS. Michael Ray says great Tesla debate in the Discord. Yes, if you're not part of the Discord, Patreon in the description, $5 a month. Check it out. It was indeed a very fun Tesla debate that people are having. This is a joke, right, with the dramatic music and voiceover. It kind of felt a little, yeah, but like I think ultimately they needed to try to make it a little bit more dramatic in order to get the message across. But I can see what you're saying. Babylon. So I did an article yesterday, guys. By the way, if you're not subscribed, you guys need to go subscribe to this website. It is my website, dailypalantir.com. It looks dope, right? So I did this article last night. This Palantir SPAC demo will blow your mind. And I don't want to play it right now, but it's really wild. In fact, we can play it a little bit later, right after the market opens. Babylon NHS. So Babylon is one of the SPACs Palantir invested in. And people think of them as Teladoc, but they're way more advanced than Teladoc from an AI perspective. And let me just say their growth first. 2022 revenue grew significantly to over 80 million in a month. They increased full year guidance to between 900 million and 1 billion. So they increased their guidance to saying they're going to bring $1 billion in revenue. And they have 88,000 new full value-based care members added organically. These are like actual clients. Why is this relevant? Their market cap is at 1.76 billion. They are bringing in 50% of their revenue, 50% of their market cap as revenues. That's kind of crazy. 50% of, imagine Facebook brought 600, or what is it, 400 billion in revenue. If they're value, well, they're not bad. Their value is 600 billion. Imagine they brought 300 billion in revenue. Like, that's insane, right? Obviously that can't happen when you're a big company, but they're bringing in 50% of their market cap in actual revenues. And I'll show you this a little bit later, but the actual AI they use to have a telehealth conference, it got me thinking I need to buy the stock. I mean, like, this was one of those SPAC stocks. I didn't even want to buy Wejo. Like, this is the SPAC stock that I was just like, this is one that I'm interested in buying. All right, I'll get into that in a second. Market is about to open. You guys will see the cowbell as always. The cowbell is here because the cowbell needs to be here in order for things to happen. I'm definitely saying it wrong too. It's not Babylon, it's like Babylon, but I don't care. I'm saying it wrong. Coinbase is up because Bitcoin is up. Look at this. Coinbase, 3%. 180. There we go. Market open. I know that hurt some of you so badly. That's okay. It's the morning. That's how it needs to feel. Well, here we go. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? I see decent green. A lot of stuff just flipped green. Excuse me. Tesla up at 930. Not bad at all. Good old Tesla. The Russian ruble sucks. The Russian ruble is not doing too well. TDOC at 66. I don't know why I'm sneezing so much. TDOC at 66. Nothing crazy. ARC 64. Let's go to Palantir. Where's our good old buddy of ours? First of all, wait, let me check Alibaba first. Alibaba's up 115, so it's up 10%. The orders are coming in like crazy on that. Palantir is barely up. Palantir's kind of flat. It's nothing too crazy. Angels say hit them with the bells. Hit them with the bells. Google, this one I've been excited for over the past couple of days. 27 hundos. 27 hundos are inside of Google. Not bad. Not bad at all. Airbnb. This one's been flat for a while. Airbnb. Yeah, Airbnb debuted at like it ran to 219, but it then stayed flat at around 150, 160 for a while. Look at this. It's been 150 since May or June 2021. Like, Airbnb has just not been a good stock. Airbnb hasn't had their catalyst yet. Babylon, $4.4, down 50%. Again, I'm seriously thinking of Babylon. This is one of those things when I saw the product, I was like, yo, this is legit. Like, this is actually legit. Doge. We haven't talked about Doge in a while. Doge is up 4%. Doge is up to 12 cents. 12 cents. Bob doing good on buyback news? What? There's buyback news? Hold on. Baba buyback. Oh, there we go. There we go, everybody. We're here. Alibaba hikes buybacks to 25 billion as crackdown signals ease. Shares leap more than 11% to highest in about a month. Alibaba and its internet rivals are battling to a record sell-off. Alibaba Group Holdings soared 11% after ramping up its share buyback program to 25 billion, fueling hopes that the Beijing is easing of an internet crackdown that wiped out 470 billion of market cap value. The board approved the program, which said it will run for 2 years. So for the next 2 years, they're going to be buying back 25 billion. Well, so what happens when you do buyback? The company buys back its shares, which means you get less diluted. So if you have 100 shares and the company buys back 10 of them, that means you own 10% more, right? Because now there's only 90 shares left in the company. So the overall total pie that you own is more valuable because there's less shares, because the company owns those shares. There's less shares outstanding because the company owns those shares, which means now the value of your shares theoretically must go higher, because if there's less shares outstanding and you own any percentage of shares, your fraction becomes smaller, right? Versus bigger. It's not 1 out of 10, it's 1 out of 8. So 1/8 is better than 1/10. Okay, Alibaba's upsized buyback represents one of the largest shareholder reward programs in China. Interesting. China's largest companies are only just starting to emerge from a year of unparalleled regulatory scrutiny into sectors from online commerce to social media. Alibaba shares closed at their highest in almost a month. The buyback signals where company management sees value and regulatory action. People are just coming close to the end of it, said Justin Tang, head of Asian research at United First Partners in Singapore. Interesting. Look at this. So Alibaba hiked share buyback plan to 10 billion from 6 billion this September 2020. Buyback plan lifted from 15 billion to 10 billion, 2021 still going down. And then finally buyback plan raised to 25 billion from 15 billion. Now we're seeing a little bit of it going up. Interesting. Well, Baba's up. Baba's up. Palantir is not going to do a buyback for a while because they don't need to be honest. It would look like a sign of... Sometimes when you do a buyback, it's a sign of desperation, guys. Like, the fact that you have to actually do the buyback means people's not buying your stock. So, I mean, most companies probably wouldn't want you to do a buyback necessarily until, like, the share price gets ridiculous. CRM is at 213 and Snowflake is at 213. Interesting. Are they colluding with each other? Is there some type of secret negotiation going on? What's going on there? Guys, Cathie's DNA, Ginkgo Bioworks. Oh my, she has around 20 million shares of this bad boy. She has a lot. This bad, she was buying it at 15. I mean, she was buying it up here. Where we go, up here. This one is now a penny stock. I was told this one is really good. I think Sham Sanker's on the board of DNA as well, which is why I always get interested in it. But let's see. Hi, Amit. I'm almost in the 2K club on Palantir. Code Rilla, what's up? Happy for you being in the 2K club. I've been in there for a while, so I'm looking to get out of the 2K club, but I just don't have enough money right now to buy more. Shopify, 688. Shopify. I don't know if you guys are bullish on Shopify. I thought it was trading pretty low when it got down to the 550s, but I did not buy because it's a Cathie stock, and at this point, I'm just afraid of how the market's going to treat it. You know, for it to get back to 1,700, it looks like there needs to be a lot. And by the way, Cathie was buying it at like 1,200. So like this one is going to, I think it's going to take a while before it has that massive run up again. I don't think it goes hyperbolic necessarily that easily. But ultimately, we are going to see. We are going to see. Now let's go on CNBC. Let's see some of the stuff that's going on here. Who's into Disney? Is anyone into Disney here? Because I want to play a clip around Disney. And then I want to show you guys that Babe on Health bubble. Someone was saying, I was reading a report yesterday that Disney is like massively overvalued. DNA is my second biggest holding. It is amazing. They partnered with Palantir and Sham is on the board. DNA uses Foundry for biotech. Is that confirmed, Glitch Life? Or do you just think that's true? I think you might be right that it's confirmed. I just want to know. Yeah, DNA is interesting. Like, so Glitch Life, do you feel it's a penny? Do you feel like it's risky, or do you feel it's like even below, you know, $5 down from 15, it's like a buying opportunity? Palantir is not buying back shares because they're still in growth stage. It has nothing to do with desperation. Yeah, but that's my point, right? If they were that's the reason why I'm saying it's desperation, because if they were not growing, they would have to buy back their shares in order to get the stock price to move up. Their growth should move the stock price up. So if they weren't growing at the level at which they should be growing, that's where it would be a little bit more desperate for them to actually buy back shares. But also, if they're growing, they need money to like grow, right? Not to buy back shares. So that's another reason why they don't really need that. Buybacks are a better way to reward shareholders. No taxes compared to dividends. Yeah, I mean, our value of the stock just goes up, and we get more money. We get more bang for our buck when it does. So Disney is an interesting stock. I want to play a clip in a moment. Disney, it got back to like 160, 170, and then it kind of crashed. Like, here we go. We got to 160 on good earnings in January, and then you got kind of close again at 150, and then it just go down. It is confirmed. Okay, that makes sense to me. I thought it would be confirmed. Let's look at a clip on Disney from CNBC. Let's see what they're talking about it here.
Right. You think Bob Chapek was trying to pivot to the center from the perception that Disney was too far left, and this was a miscalculation that backfired?
I think it's pretty clear it backfired because of everything we've seen over the past week and the fact that he literally had to flip-flop on the issue and come out against a bill that they had decided to not take a position on. And, it caused a firestorm. And this is a narrative that has been created around Bob Chapek, that he has sort of been tone deaf to some of the issues that are important to not only Disney employees, but some of the talent that are so important to the success of the company.
And since it's been a week or so since your piece, has he pivoted back to the point where is it possible to do enough damage control in your view for him? It sounds like the tempers have cooled to some extent. No one knows, how many people are going to be at the march and whether it's still as front and center as it was a week ago. You think it's working, these initiatives?
I think these steps are a positive change. The first and most important was that he apologized to employees for the position that he took. And he said he recognized how important it was to take a position on these issues. I think Julia is exactly right in that it's going to be proof in the pudding what they actually do on these issues going forward, because the entire company is now watching every step that he makes. And it's going to be a gradual, but I think a positive thing for him to engage directly on these issues, because everyone is watching and he's got a year. This is a CEO whose contract is up in February of next year. And if he can't fix these morale issues and these perception issues within the company and outside, he's got a real problem.
Sarah, what have you, in terms of the last week or so, what are your, just go off, what are your comments on the whole situation?
Well, one, it's notable that this is Florida. This is a state where Disney has, I think, 80,000 employees. Many of them are LGBTQ. And so it's going to have to deal with these types of political issues moving forward with Ron DeSantis as governor. This is an opportunity for him to elevate his own political cachet ahead of a potential 2024 run. And so this is the first time that Bob Chapek might be running into this, but it's not going to be the last.
Sorry, guys, my mic was down. I was thinking it was interesting to bring it up because it's like this is one of those controversies that Bob Chapek, the new CEO, has to kind of deal with, who hasn't dealt with in a while. And we are also going to see how Disney's stock reacts to this as a result of them being in Florida, a majority of their Floridian workers, a lot of them being LGBTQ, and how they're going to adapt to that new environment. I've always been interested in Disney as like kind of a hedge against Netflix. Let's go back to Netflix because, like, again, I'm just not super bullish on this bad boy. I don't know if you guys are. It's always been kind of hard for me to get on the board with it. Now, I looked at Netflix's numbers yesterday, and the numbers are not that bad. Okay, their cash flows are not that bad. Their growth is not amazing, and I think that's why we saw this massive drop. But I am coming around to considering what a world of Netflix could look like. But I don't know. I still don't get the content thesis. I still think they're going to have to spend way too much money. One of the things that was interesting, though, that movie Don't Look Up that they spent like crazy amounts of money on? Apparently that movie had like 321 million hours of watch time, which is great. It's fine. My question is, how does that convert to shareholder return, right? How does that convert? How does that result into more and more subscribers and users using the product? I don't know. I don't think like they spent so much money on that movie. Yes, a lot of people watched it. The question is, did that get new people to come in? And the question is, did that get people to like continue to stay? And if they have to spend more and more money on those types of movies, that's where I get worried, because I'm like, well, those movies are just one-off movies, and they're here, then they're gone. It's like, how much money do you have to actually spend to make those at the end of the day? It's a little rough. BX Amit, what's up? So those are some of my thoughts on Netflix. Let's go to some of these other stocks that are doing. AMC. I don't know if anyone's in AMC. AMC, remember this. AMC was at $16 January 2021 before it had its run. My mom actually sold at $16. I remember what it was like. No, she bought at 16 and sold at 20, and she made $1,000 off of it. So AMC has always been a little bit of a darling on this one, but AMC is down from its highs of like 44 or like 60 or whatever that it got to at one point. Yeah, AMC was like, look at this, $63. That was a lot. My sister worked at Disney a few years after college. Loved the people, but the pay wasn't great and absolutely no upward mobility. She works at Duke now. Interesting. Okay. Paramount Global is going to be a top streaming service in 2-3 years. I don't know about that, because Paramount doesn't have that much. So let's go to Viacom stock. Yeah, Viacom has been flat for a while. Now, I also think Viacom, do they do a dividend? I don't think they do a dividend. Yeah, I don't think they do a dividend. But regardless, Viacom, CBS is that company has not been really going. That's not a growth company necessarily. DNA is a YouTube channel, and they put out a lot of good information. All right, I will be checking it out for sure. Yo, you think the run on NTR is over or more room to run? Citi just put a 126 price target. Let's go to NTR. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, so NTR is prime. It's a question of how bad things get from a nutrient perspective, right? From a supply chain perspective with food. If it gets really bad, then yeah, NTR is gonna run up a little bit. I can see why they put out a 126 price target, because like, if things get bad, if oil still go, I mean, oil was at 112, and if oil doesn't get down below to like the 100 levels, I could see NTR still running up. Now, granted, would I buy NTR on the bet that it gets to 126? No. Not willing to take that risk yet. Now, when NTR was at 70, yes, that's a risk. Otherwise, no. Amit borrowed Snoop Dogg's top. How do you guys like this? This is a cool top, right? I've had this since literally 2015. I haven't worn it on the channel, though. But it's cool, right? It's like a cool little top. Cool top. Movies are almost worthless for streaming platforms. Any rewatchable series with lots of... That's my point. It's like, if you get all these movies and people watch it once, then it's gone. You need something they can binge. And even if you binge it, after 9 hours, the show is also irrelevant, right? But at least the binging of it makes more of a like personal connection, I think, to me with the platform. And you're waiting for season 2, right? There's like something you care about. But movies are just like purely one-off events. That's why you go to a movie theater. And I get Netflix is trying to replace the movie theater, but it's like movie theaters spend hundreds of millions of dollars making the movie, and then they make close to billions back because they have worldwide distribution and people pay for a ticket. Like you're getting like $16 on average from someone or maybe two people coming into a movie. I haven't been to the movies in a while, but prices are pretty expensive, right? So that's kind of the thing. Elon pulling some scams now, moving Tesla money to other companies. Tesla stock will take a hit if that. I don't know. Tesla's master plan, guys, are supposed to be coming out soon, which is very interesting to me. Tesla has this master plan thesis. Let's look it up right now, actually. Tesla master plan. They have this whole thesis, right? Of putting out how they're going to change the world, right? So, look, there's one master plan that they wrote in 2006. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but essentially Elon's talking about what it means to get into a renewable world, right? Then they have the master plan part 2. This was in 2016, where they talk more about all the different stuff that they're doing. Autonomy, sharing, software. Simple. Now they're getting ready to do master plan part 3. And this article says, Musk reveals plans to scale Tesla to extreme size. Elon Musk signaled plans to scale Tesla to the extreme while teasing the release of Tesla's master plan 3. before the opening of the automaker's first European factory, which will be Giga Berlin. Main Tesla subjects will be scaling to extreme size, which is needed to shift humanity away from fossil fuels and AI, but I will also include sections about SpaceX, Tesla, and the Boring Company. So he's going to include all the other companies he's talking about. Now, I think you're saying it's a scam because he's like, oh, he's going to take money from Tesla and put it into the other companies. But I think regardless, he's talking about all his master plan around the entire world, given all the companies that he's created, which is why it's kind of like Elon Phase 3, exactly as David Todd said. Excited to hand over the first production cars made by Giga Berlin Brandenburg tomorrow. That's going to be cool, guys. The fact that Giga Berlin is opening, that's just like cool. Tesla's scheduled to open its first factory in Europe on Tuesday, where Tesla will hand over its first ever production cars produced there. The $5 billion factory is stated to produce more than 500,000 electric vehicles in a bid to compete with Volkswagen, the largest automaker in Europe, and its $100 billion investment in EVs. This is kind of the bull thesis on Tesla. It's like, man, if they're making 500,000 cars and it's going up and up and up, and they're competing in Germany, which is a huge center for cars, then you've got an opportunity where they can potentially scale in a meaningful way. We got something big there. Viacom CVS has a dividend, but they have so much debt that it's not worth the buy. Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. That's what I was thinking. All right, guys, that is it for today's Market Open. If you have not checked out dailypalantir.com, please make sure to check it out and subscribe. You get a notification every Thursday. We are not going to spam your email on all the latest Palantir news. Every single Thursday, we'll send you a newsletter of Palantir news. Bunch of articles here. Articles will be going up more and more and more. It's your source for curated Palantir news on the internet, coming to you by me, written. We're going to have guest contributors on the blog soon. So definitely make sure to check it out. I also did a video last night with Cathie Wood doubling down on her thesis around ARK. They released a new webinar where they reiterate the government point, and I did some analysis on what I think that means long term. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you had a good morning. Make sure to kill it. Tuesday morning, still have plenty of time to go in the week. Make sure to get your goals. I've got a lot of work to do. Had about 4 meetings yesterday, very, very productive meetings. Ended my day yesterday at 1 a.m., woke up by 8 a.m. today, and now we're out here grinding, and the grind does not stop. It only must continue. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.